Mom and Dad used my wedding money for twin and canceled all venues. I cut them off. Now I'm a millionaire, and they're begging for money. Be me, 31F, living in Houston. Have a twin sister named Rachel. Been dealing with this rivalry since forever, not just normal sibling stuff. Parents literally pushed us into competing. Always treated Rachel like she was special. Let me tell you why this BS started. Rachel is exactly 15 minutes older than me. Just 15 minutes. Somehow that's all it took to become the golden child. Rachel was their miracle baby. Could do no wrong from day one. Wasn't even a bad kid myself. But she always got credit for everything I did. First memory of this favoritism was in kindergarten. Both in school play. Got lead role as Snow White. Rachel had 2 lines as a tree. She started crying on stage. Forgot her lines. Parents missed my entire performance. Rushed to console her immediately. That evening, they didn't even acknowledge what I did. All they could talk about was how brave Rachel was for trying. This pattern kept going through elementary school. Rachel gets C on test. Oh honey, you tried your best. I get straight ass. Barely a nod. Remember working on science project in 4th grade? Project about sustainable agriculture. Did weeks of research, built models, even talked to local farmers. Won first place, got blue ribbon. Showed it to parents, barely glanced at it. Too busy because Rachel had a rough day at gymnastics practice. That's nice, sweetie. Can we talk about this later? After that, stopped showing them my achievements. Worst part was they didn't even try to hide their favoritism. Dad would joke at family gatherings about Rachel being firstborn. Those 15 minutes somehow made her the older sister. Rachel is our responsible one, he'd say. She looks after her younger sister. Had to stand there listening. They reduced me to Rachel's shadow. Nothing more. Things really started messing with my head in middle school. Became super driven to prove myself. Joined every club I could. Student council, debate team, chess club. Had to excel at everything. Studied until sunrise sometimes. Meanwhile, Rachel just coasted through. Did bare minimum. Still got all the attention and praise. One incident really stands out. 8th grade. Got selected for state-level engineering competition. Representing our school. Prepared for months. Often studying until 3 a.m. Rachel had recreational tennis match same day. Parents didn't show up to support me. Didn't even ask how it went. Brought home 2nd place trophy. All they talked about was how Rachel needed cheering up. Because her team lost their game. High school was same old story. Still in every extracurricular. Taking all advanced classes. Maintaining perfect GPA. Rachel spent most time partying, barely kept C average, but she was still the fun and social one. I was just too competitive and serious. Senior year really showed the difference. Made valedictorian, got full scholarship to top university. Even had article about me in city newspaper. Rachel barely graduated, went to community college, yet parents spent entire graduation party, which was supposed to be for both of us, complaining about Rachel not getting into her first choice school. Didn't mention any of my achievements in their speech. The turning point was during college. Kept perfect grades while working part-time, supporting myself through prestigious university, studying aerospace engineering. Would come home every break, hoping something had changed, hoping parents finally saw my worth. But no. Always Rachel this and Rachel that. Somehow her dropping out of community college after 1 semester was seen as brave. They said she was following her own path. Then came Thanksgiving break during junior year. Everything changed that night. Uncle Greg was there. Always had a thing for drinking too much. Made a huge mistake. Started talking about mom's pregnancy. Revealed they never planned to have twins. Were devastated when they found out about 2 babies. Only wanted 1 child. Dad, being the passive person he is, just shrugged and said, "We'll figure it out." Mom was worried about handling 2 babies. Their way of figuring it out was picking a favorite, focusing all energy on Rachel, their precious firstborn. Those 15 minutes made all the difference. Years of wondering why they didn't care finally made sense. Sitting there at dinner table, everything clicked. I was the afterthought, the unexpected addition, not the child they wanted. Something changed in me after that revelation. Gave up trying to please them, put all my focus into building my own life, gave everything to my studies and internships. Wanted to succeed for myself, not for them. By graduation, had multiple job offers from top engineering firms. Took position at promising aerospace startup. After 3 years, became lead project engineer. Meanwhile, Rachel was planning this huge wedding. Met some rich guy at wine bar. After brief romance, parents were absolutely thrilled. Couldn't even remember name of company I worked for, but spent hours on phone with her. Discussing every tiny wedding detail, my company preparing for IPO. Stock options worth more than Rachel's fiancé made in 2 years. Actually doing really well for myself, but they never asked about my career. The wedding fund situation really broke my heart. Only person who ever treated us equally was grandmother. Left us both significant amount of money before she died. specifically for our future weddings, had to be shared equally between us. She told me privately. Said she knew how parents treated me. This was her way of making sure I had something just for me. But of course, parents couldn't respect her last wishes. Rachel wanted ridiculously extravagant wedding, celebrity photographer, designer dress, multiple venues, instead of telling her to scale back, or asking her rich fiancé to contribute more. They took my share of inheritance. Didn't even tell me. Didn't even ask. Didn't find out until months after wedding. Drunk Uncle Greg spilled beans at another family gathering. Confronted them about it. "Oh, honey," Mom said dismissively, waving her hand like swatting fly. "We were going to tell you eventually. We'll pay you back when we can." Dad's response was even worse. Well, Rachel needed it more. She's the traditional one getting married. You're so focused on your career. Probably won't even want big wedding. Stood in their kitchen, looking at these people. Supposed to be my parents. Felt nothing. No sadness, no anger. Just empty void. They couldn't even understand what they did wrong. Taking my inheritance without permission. Totally okay because it was for Rachel. She always came first. Went back to my apartment that night. Spent hours thinking about my life. Finally saw how Rachel overshadowed everything. Every major milestone. Every achievement. Every proud moment. High school graduation. They were too busy consoling Rachel about her grades. College scholarship barely acknowledged. Because Rachel was struggling at community college. First promotion ignored. Because Rachel was planning her wedding. Did something I should have done years ago? Opened my laptop, wrote them an email. I know about the wedding fund. I know you used my inheritance for Rachel's wedding. Without even asking me, but it's not about the money. It's about how you've treated me my whole life. Never even tried to hide that I wasn't the daughter you wanted. I'm done trying to win your love and acceptance. Done being the kid you didn't want. Don't contact me again unless it's to repay my money. Hit send. Blocked their numbers. Deleted them from all social media. Didn't have to worry anymore? About measuring up to Rachel? About getting acceptance I'd never receive. For first time in my life felt weight lift off shoulders. Past year has been life-changing. Focused completely on work and self-improvement. Company's IPO was huge success. Stock options now worth more than Rachel's entire wedding. Started therapy to deal with childhood trauma. Bought my own house in nicest part of Phoenix. Made real friendships with people who actually value me. Rachel tries to reach out sometimes. Through distant relatives or mutual friends. Writes things like, family should stick together, or you're still my sister. But where was this family feeling? When she happily took my inheritance for her wedding? Where was it when she watched our parents dismiss my achievements? She was complicit in everything. Some relatives trying to blame me, saying I'm being too harsh. Keep spouting, blood is thicker than water, and other meaningless phrases. But these are same people who watched parents favor Rachel for years, stayed silent while watching how they treated me. They don't get to have an opinion anymore. It's funny because cutting them off made me realize who my real family is. My therapist helping me see none of this was my fault. My coworkers who actually celebrate my achievements. My college best friend who helped me move into new house. These are the ones who truly care. Got offered team lead position at work. Company opening new office in Boston. Making decision for first time in my life. Without thinking about how it compares to Rachel. Without wondering what parents will say. Feels amazing living life for myself. People often question whether I'm being too dramatic. Every time I consider reconnecting, remember all those years feeling inadequate. Know I made right decision. But things about to get more complicated. Need to tell you what happened next. 2 weeks ago, everything changed dramatically. Phone started ringing during team meeting. Multiple calls from Uncle Greg. Usually ignore family calls. Always means drama. But something felt different. Multiple calls in quick succession. Decided to answer. Uncle Greg's voice shaking. Hey, it's me. Knew something was wrong immediately. He's usually a positive guy. Even in bad situations. Need to talk to you about your parents. Felt sick to stomach. Haven't heard from them in 2 years. What's happening? Trying to keep voice steady. They're in hospital. Bad accident. He paused, took deep breath. Car got hit by truck that ran red light. Dad's in critical condition. Mom has multiple fractures. Been in hospital for a few days. Days? Repeated it, voice rising. And nobody thought to tell me until now? They wanted me to let you know, he said quieter. Think they want to see you, but that wasn't all. Their insurance. He trailed off. Of course, there was more. Parents let health insurance lapse 6 months ago. Financial troubles from credit card debt. Bad investments. Nowhere near being discharged. Medical bills already piling up. What about Rachel? Asked. New answer before he said it, Uncle Greg sighed. She visited once right after accident. Says she can't help with bills. Doesn't want to ask husband for money. So soon after their honeymoon, busy with her stepchildren. Her new family had to laugh at that. Typical Rachel, always has an excuse. Too proud to ask rich husband for help with parents' medical bills, but had no problem taking my inheritance for wedding. Sat in office after call with Uncle Greg, staring at city skyline. Couldn't miss the irony. Now my stock options had vested. Had more than enough savings. Could easily pay their medical bills. But did I want to? Couldn't focus for days after that. Jumping every time phone buzzed, expecting news about their condition. Kept picturing them in hospital beds. Probably wondering if I'd show up. Felt guilty for even thinking about not helping. They were my parents after all. But then remembered years of favoritism, stolen inheritance, how they only contacted me now because they needed something. This was just about money, not about making amends. 3 days after Uncle Greg's call, Rachel texted me, "I know you're doing well at work. Parents really need help. This is your chance to do the right thing." Where was this moral compass when she took my inheritance for wedding? Where was she all those years? Watching parents ignore my achievements? After a week of internal conflict, parents finally called themselves mom's voice weak from painkillers, but manipulation tactics same as ever. Like past 2 years of silence never happened. "Sweetie, we're in really difficult situation. Doctor says bills could hit $200,000, not including rehabilitation. We know we weren't perfect parents, but..." Cut her off right there. "No, you weren't, and never will be. Haven't contacted me in 2 years. Only reaching out now for money." Dad's voice came through speaker. "That's not fair. We're your parents." Family supports family. That statement set me off. Years of bottled up anger exploded. "Family helps family," repeated it back. Where was that when you used my inheritance? Where were you at my college graduation? Where were you for every significant moment? When you were too busy praising Rachel? Brief silence. Then Mom started crying. Those familiar manipulative tears. Heard them so many times before. When she wanted to make me feel guilty. "How can you be so cruel? We're in the hospital. Your dad might need surgery. Will you really abandon us now?" Took deep breath. Finally said words I'd wanted to say for years. "Yes, actually. Yes, I will. You emotionally abandoned me my whole life. Treated me as Rachel's shadow. Your backup option. Now Rachel won't help. You turn to me. Won't be your last resort anymore." Dad started with, "But we're family." "No," cut him off. "We haven't been family. Since you decided Rachel was only child worth loving, I'm done. Don't contact me again." Hung up. Blocked their numbers again. Texted Rachel one last time. "They're your parents too. Try handling it yourself." Following days were hard. Had moments of doubt. Questioning my choice. Was I being too harsh? Despite everything, should I help? But every time these thoughts came, remembered how they treated me. How they only contacted me when they wanted something. Yesterday, Uncle Greg called again. Tried guilt tripping me. Said parents' health getting worse. Dad needs surgery. Mom needs physical therapy. Said they might lose everything. Talking about remortgaging their house. Thing is, not responsible for their financial problems. They made their choices. Chose to favor Rachel. Chose to waste their money. Chose to let insurance lapse. Now dealing with consequences. Some might call me heartless. Maybe I am. Spent entire life trying to be good enough. Trying to win their love. I'm done. Not being the backup plan. When Rachel refuses to step up. Not fixing their problems anymore. For first time in life, choosing myself. No, it makes me look cold. Mental health matters more than their guilt trips. Financial stability matters more than their poor planning. Often questioned if cutting them off was wrong. Every time I think about reconnecting, remember years of feeling worthless. No made right choice. Things got even more complicated. 3 days ago, life took another dramatic turn. Was having peaceful evening at home. After demanding workday, finishing preparations for new office. Doorbell rang at exactly 8:07 p.m. Was reviewing project papers, drinking expensive Cabernet Sauvignon. Classical Mozart playing softly. Hadn't ordered anything? Friends usually text before visiting. Wasn't expecting anyone. Froze looking through peephole. Rachel standing there, looking every bit the rich trophy wife. Designer dress. Perfect makeup. $15,000 Hermes Birkin bag in hand. Ironic, really? That bag alone could cover. Chunk of parents' medical bills. Thought about pretending not home. But I've changed past few weeks. Not person who cowers from Rachel anymore. She's intimidated me too long. Not letting her win again. Opened door. Used my cool, controlled boardroom demeanor. Leaned against doorframe. Well, if it isn't my dear sister, what brings you to my humble abode? Typical Rachel. Swept past me without invitation. Into my apartment. Her eyes scanning everything. taking in original artwork, modern furniture, floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking city. Could see her mentally cataloging it all, probably comparing to her suburban McMansion. Nice place, she said. Tone suggesting opposite. Very cozy. Use that special rich person emphasis. When they think something's beneath them, stop wasting time, Rachel. Why are you here? She turned to me, adjusting her scarf. Nervous habit from childhood. Mom and Dad are getting worse. Mom's physical therapy isn't covered. By their payment plan, Dad needs emergency surgery. For internal bleeding they missed first time. Hospital threatening to stop treatment. Unless they show proof of payment. They're talking about selling the house. Saw her knuckles whiten, gripping fancy purse tighter. Classic Rachel, obviously building up to something. And that's my problem because? Raised eyebrow, deliberately mimicking her patronizing tone from our childhood. Because you can help them? Her perfect exterior starting to crack. I know your company went public. I checked stock prices. Did my research. You have the money. Had to laugh. Sound echoed off apartment walls. Harsher than intended. Oh, you've been monitoring me? How interesting. Did you do this much research? Before using my inheritance for wedding? Or before refusing to help them yourself? Where's your wealthy husband? Rachel's face turned red. Another childhood memory. Always preceded her dramatic outbursts. The ones that ended with parents comforting her. That's different, she stammered. Perfect composure crumbling. I have a new family now. I have obligations. The stepchildren. Nathan and I have our financial plans. Can't just throw money at family situation. Can't just what? Cut her off sharply. Can't help your parents? The ones who gave you everything? Who paid for your wedding with my inheritance? Who always put you first? Who missed my college graduation? To help you move apartments? Those parents? She waved hand dismissively. Stepped back though. That's history. This is about right now. You're being selfish. They need help. Word selfish was final straw. Years of suppressed rage crystallized into cold, clear purpose. Went silently to home office. Got laptop and some papers from desk. Returned to living room. Rachel, want to talk about money? Let's talk. Turned portfolio dashboard toward her. These are my stock options. Let me put it in terms you understand. Worth more than Nathan will make in 3 years. That house you're so proud of? Could buy it cash tomorrow if I wanted. Watched her face turn white instead of red. Pulled out more papers. Investment portfolio. Pay stubs. Recent offers from rival companies. But you're just in tech. First time I remember her stumbling. You're just an engineer. Voice was small now. I'm executive director of engineering now. Was building something for myself. While you and Nathan played house. Did it without stepping on anyone? Unlike you. Clicked laptop shut firmly. Could cover mom and dad's medical bills. Without touching my reserves? But I won't. You're being cruel, she murmured. But could see it in her eyes. She knew her little sister had won. No, cruel is watching your sister be ignored. Her whole life without saying anything. Cruel is stealing her inheritance. Cruel is only showing up at her door. When you need something, walk to door, pulled it open. Are we done here? Don't come back. She stood there, clutching expensive purse like shield. Made one last attempt. You'll regret this. But her voice lacked usual confidence. When they lose everything, my only regret is not cutting you all off sooner. Goodbye, Rachel. After she left, poured another glass of wine. $200 bottle I'd been saving. For special occasion, this felt like one. Went out to my balcony. City lights spread before me. Tapestry of freedom and opportunity. Felt completely free. For first time in my life, no more living in Rachel's shadow. No more guilt. No more seeking approval. Next morning, phone flooded with notifications. Rachel spent night calling every family member, telling them how I'd changed. How money made me callous and uncaring. How I was abandoning family when they needed me. Uncle Greg sent long email about karma and family responsibilities. In response, shared comprehensive folder to family group chat. Included everything. Scanned copies of inheritance documents, bank statements showing money used for Rachel's wedding. Rachel's texts refusing to help with medical bills. Despite her luxurious lifestyle, breakdown of my current net worth, showing exactly how much I could help. If I wanted to, family chat went very quiet after that. Only cousin Angela replied, "Holy shit, you actually did it. You really made it on your own." Spent next few days planning future. Accepted promotion in Boston. Came with bigger stock options package, substantial raise. Put my apartment up for sale. Real estate agent says it'll sell for way above asking. Already started looking for property in new city. Maybe get a penthouse this time. Rachel sent one last text last night. Mom cries every night because of you. Replied with screenshot of inheritance papers. She had years to cry about how she treated me. Her tears don't work anymore. Blocked her number. Blocked all other family contacts. Felt like closing final chapter. Of book I should have finished years ago. Past few weeks made everything clear. Recently got message asking if financial success was worth losing family. Truth is, didn't lose anyone. Just freed myself from people who never treated me like family. Success just gave me strength to stop accepting their treatment. Looking forward to house hunting next week. New life, new career, new home. First time excited about future. No family obligations holding me back. Maybe toxic people calling you heartless. Just means you're finally standing up for yourself. No regrets. Moving forward. Finally putting myself first, living life on my own terms. Boston calling me home now.